battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to the South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. My name is Apollonia, and I'll be casting this last game of the day for you with Bishi and Loki. Hi, guys.
Want
Loki,
to
I'm
go
gonna let
first,
you start
Bishi?
first. No, I will be the gentleman and be like, you first.
Okay, you want to be the gentleman. Hi guys, I am Loki. Now it's your turn, Bishi.
Hi guys, I'm Bishi. Back to you, Apollonia.
All right, let's get this poppin'. So we have a Jinx as the first band coming out from the side of Deimos Force. They
No,
are
oh
playing.
yeah, that's true. My bad.
Yeah, they are playing in on the blue side, on the team one side, and on the red side it is VP 14K. Now, guys, can you just give us a little bit of background on both these teams? Cause I'm kind of new to this.
Yeah, so VP14K and Deimos Force. So they've been long-standing two of the best Bangladeshi teams for 2020. DF was previously the roster of DF was in a team called Red Vipers Gaming. Now they have shifted to Deimos Force, another organization, and they have Bangladesh's best jungler Forest joining them, along with Indian
Debatable.
superstars, Indian superstars Termi and Crixus in the roster as well. And VP14K have been a very, very good team. They've been very consistent across a lot of the tournaments. They've always been top four, top two in every tournament that they've played. So this is like a battle of the two best BD teams, and we'll have to see who has what it takes to beat and go on to the semifinals.
Exactly, and 14K. Both these teams have been around for a long time. I remember even back then when I came to India last, there was like 14K. I used to meet a lot of these guys in solo queue, and they were probably a bit new back then, but they've kind of climbed their way to the top right now, contesting for that first place seed in Bangladesh. Honestly, when it comes to this game, who do you think's gonna win, Bishi?
I mean, I feel as if the favorites are Demos Force just because they have Termi and Crixus playing, but you can never count off VB14K because they just tend to draft these really wombo combo team fights, and they have a lot of champs that they love to do that. So I wouldn't really call this a straight up DF are the favorites here. I would just say probably say 60-40, but we'll have to wait and see what pans out. And I think Apollonia they already have picked the Orn as the first pick for Demos Force.
Yeah, I like that on first pick. It's all about the safe picks, what you know you can excel with. And on is a pretty safe laner. He's really good. Tanky has a good amount of damage and an absolute monster once he's level 13 and then past that. Because you can start upgrading your teammates' items. It just adds so much more damage and help to the overall team comp. So on it's a great pickup, and we see Thresh and Renekton from the side of VP14K. Now, I think Thresh is a comfort pick, and Renekton against the On is. Isn't that like a more of like a skill matchup? Because I feel like it could go both ways.
I
So the
mean,
thing,
I think
go for it.
Renekton does have prio, but going back to your point where you said you like to see Ornn because it's safe to play. As a caster, I fucking hate to see Ornn, honestly. Like, it's such a boring champion. Like, these guys, they do nothing in top lane. He just clears the wave, he backs off, he TPs and he ults in team fights. Like, I want to see some, bloodbath of a lane. I want to see Fiora versus Renekton. I want to see, I don't know, Camille versus Riven. That's what I want to see in the top lane.
Okay. Do you know what you are missing? Is the fact that On can clap. And that's what I live for. It's the on claps. I live for them in the top lane.
Dunk, 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 dunk.
So Bishi,
I, mean, I,
how
I
do
agree
you?
with Loki that On is like pretty boring to watch in the laning phase, but I think that in team fights when the On hammer comes down, like I think that's where things are interesting. But to answer your question, Apollonia, look at the last name on the VP14K roster. It's 14K RTO. You know what RTO stands for? Renekton top only. This guy is a one-trick Renekton player.
Oh.
He loves playing that champion, and he's more than happy to pick it into an on. He can build Blade of the Ruin King, which is really buff for melee champions mainly recently. So he is very confident to do that. But having said that, like it really does depend a lot on how team fights can pan out because the on can survive the laning phase against the Renekton, which is being 15 or 10 CS down, maybe at 10 or 15 minutes. Then he will provide more utility in the team fights. But RTO is looking to punish that lane. It's going to be Eichel Van Gogh playing top. So I think Eichel Van Gogh himself plays Renekton or has an idea. So it'll really be on him to do that. What I really like, however, from VP from DF right now is the Kane pickup. Red Kane is extremely, extremely strong in the current meta, and Forrest has played a lot of Kane in the past. It's a pick that he loves to play. It's a very sticky champion. You can't really catch slicks, hard to like kind of pick up in team fights and stuff. So I like where this is going, and I can't wait to see how they round off the composition.
Right, and now we have gone past the second ban phase. We see the Blitz and Morgana ban coming from VP 14K. I think it's a good option. You know, they don't want that in the hands of Deimos Force, and like, oh wait, wow. Okay, so they took a Braum, Ezreal Braum bot lane. I'm not a big fan of it, but it's a safe lane. It's an extremely safe lane. I like that Lucian pick, like that Lucian Graves combo on the side of VP. That's going to be deadly when it comes to team fights. Like very deadly. Like Vish, how do you feel?
I mean, the Lucian versus Ezreal matchup has always been a very interesting matchup. So Lucian kind of has like prio in lane because Ezreal has to he has to get his tier, and
Agreed.
early game tier just takes 750 gold out of your bank. Like it's kind of a nuisance for Ezreal because he can't really pressure that much. I mean, he really has to strive in lane to find those opening queues so he can poke out Lucian. But otherwise, Lucian's just straight up BOTRK build, and he's able to run down Ezreal. But once Ezreal can survive until 17, 18, let's say 20 minutes, and he can stack up that mirror mana and get the passive and get that stacked up, then he becomes almost a beast. So it's, I guess, Lucian favored until 20 minutes, and then 20 minutes, depending upon how those two ADs scale up, it's most likely Israel favored.
Yeah, and I have to mention that VP14K are missing their primary mid laner, Dastan, at this point, and we don't know for sure if it's going to be RTO playing top or will it actually be their AD carry shifting top to allow Nighty to play AD carry. So I'm just waiting for the last minute swap to see if it's Zozo who's going to play the Lucian or if he's just going to play the Nectin top. If it is Zozo, then I feel like Kill Vango will have a better time because he's not playing against a one trick, which means he has better propensity to survive. The Diana, however, is something that RTO plays, and it is his pickup into the Syndra, which can be very lethal for the Syndra. She has to play the lane out pretty smartly, but if she can keep her distance from the Syndra, then she should, like, the Tommy should have a pretty field day going into the team fights. And I really like the Braum pickup. I think that was picked up because it just prevents a lot of these auto attacking champions to do much, especially for Lucian and for Graves. But again, like, the engage heavy potential, the front line is there for DF. There is no front line as such for VP14K unless you count as a net and jumping in as a front line. But if he's building Bork, he probably won't. So I feel like with draft, like, I just like DF's composition a little bit more. I think they have all that they need to be able to front to back pretty well as just siege and have a lot of good mixed damage coming in as well.
Yeah, I know what you mean because DF has a team composition that has an early game. Like, Syndra does really well, On also does pretty good. And they have champions that scale into the late game as well, which is Kane and Ezreal. It's an overall very balanced team comp. You can see a good amount of CC coming out from DF. And the combos, you can see what their step 1, 2, and 3 is going to be. As for 14K, it's a little bit more creative, and you did mention that RTO is a Renekton main, but it looks like he will be in the mid lane. And Renekton and Diana, they do need a little bit of a push for them to pop off. They are really good solo laners, and the overall team composition of 14K is very skirmishy, very burst the target down and go for those sustained fights. Their backline has a lot of damage, they're Lucian and Graves, but provided that they can get the damage and all of that, all of the items that they need, by farming well, getting the kills that they want, and just scaling well into the late game.
Exactly, and I just want to point out, Bishi, you lied to me. You said RTO is going to be playing that Renekton, and now he's playing that Diana.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Scammer.
I mean, they scammed me when they got Dastan out, right? And apparently, I've been told that RTO is
Oh,
Diana's
so you're now
beastly.
getting insider information right
Yeah,
now,
I'm getting
huh?
I'm getting inside information that this guy's Diana is pretty beastly. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
I mean, Vishy was wrong the first time when he said RTO was a Renekton one trick. If he's wrong again, man.
I mean, I
But
guess
yeah.
we'll find out in the first 10 minutes, right?
I guess so. But yeah, going into this game, I've been seeing a lot of like AD carry and a lot of carry junglers being picked these days in this tournament specifically. I mean, I remember, I guess, back in my day, I sound like a fucking boomer, but there used to be a lot of Sejuani. There used to be, Jarvan's always been a staple. There always used to be this like heavy tank type of junglers, Trundle and stuff like that. What happened to all of that? Like, we're seeing a lot of Graves, we're seeing Kindred, we've got the Kane this game. What happened to all the carry junglers? Like, is it just part of the meta or?
Well, pretty much, yeah, at this point, because There is Trundle in the meta as well. So if you're gonna just like blind pick your tank jungle and you just get countered by Trundle, so a lot of people just don't want to do that anymore because Trundle can set themselves up pretty well if someone can counter the Sejuani with the Trundle or even a Ramis or anything else that you can pick like can be countered by that. So people just tend to wait and then instead of like just trying to pick a blind pick a jungle, they just go for it. And Kane is really strong and Kane honestly is like tanky in itself, even though he's not technically a tank. Red Kane can tank a lot of hits and has a
Very
lot of
versatile.
survivability. So better picks are in the meta. Yes, this is a meta where AD carry, sorry, jungle picks are more prominent on the side of skirmish heavy sort of champions. Early games are more important, so these AD or AP based early game junglers are doing the rounds quite a bit. Yep.
I see. And I
Yeah.
also like to point out that DF is running double TP. Diana is, however, running Ignite, so he is gonna be looking to get that solo kill and get a lot of pressure on the Syndra.
Yeah, that's really true. We know Termi to be very comfortable on Syndra, so hopefully he doesn't get a gank and that Diana just getting a kill over him because if Diana can roam, it's gonna be a problem for DF. And it looks like we are now transitioning into the game. Remember, guys, you are watching the South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. Do tell us who you're supporting in the comment section. And let's go. You guys excited?
Extremely excited. I can't wait to watch my friends
Yeah.
and people
Wow,
who I
your
know.
voice has so much energy. Oh, the customary pause.
Customary pause, traditional pause.
It wouldn't be a League of Legends South Asia game without one.
Wouldn't be a Bangladeshi game without 10 pauses either.
Comment, but
We can't help the pain, guys.
the thing
We
is
all
like
cannot
I
help
have
it.
a feeling that this is going to be one of those explosive matchups. The whole day today we haven't really seen a lot of explosive matches barring the first one. So I'm hoping that this is more entertaining for all of us because we love casting those crazy games where there's a lot of team fights happening. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to talk, and not some standard NA style League of Legends where people are just farming and then one team fight decides the game. So with the champs that
So
VP14
now you're
came
throwing
in,
shade at NA now, huh?
I mean, I don't care, man. NA, I'll all say it. SA greater than NA. Okay, then I said it. Yeah, that sounds retarded. I take it back, but still, uh, possibilities of it happening. Like our style is very South Asia style is very similar to SEA itself because we play in the Garena server and everyone just loves to team fight. So by that contrast, our play style and SEA play style is pretty much the same where we fight like a bunch of monkeys, I would say, and then we don't do much about that. You can see an invade coming out though. Is that one low key? I'm not
A
sure.
mini invade, I guess, just a 3-man stack up. I think they're trying to get vision down. Both junglers, I mean, both teams want to know which side their junglers are starting. So really good word coming out from Braum over there as well as Kane. They're gonna get some extremely good vision on there. They see Diana hovering over on the Raptor camp. They are gonna see her in back. Both these junglers really wanna. When you play an early game jungler with a lot of gank potential, like Graves and Kane, you always want to know which side the enemy jungler is starting because knowing which buff the enemy jungler is starting can kind of give you an idea of which lanes to play safe and which lanes can kind of get away with overextending and stuff. So it's very important to get information on your jungler.
And both these teams have junglers that take a while to scale up with their damage. Graves does have a bit more damage than Kane in the early game, but progressing into the mid to late, they're both pretty even. Now it's gonna be a case of the all the lanes, how they're gonna be able to stand up to their matchups. It'd be good if they don't die. They wait for some macro plays, team plays, objectives around the dragon and the Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to point out, which is very interesting, is all the lanes I think have bot lane and top lane have showed at the exact same time, and Kane didn't really get a leash, so there's literally no way of red team to kind of figure out which side Kane started on. I mean, he could start at Raptors, he could start at red, he could start at blue. There's just honestly no way to tell right now. Whereas for red team, it's clearly you could clearly say that that because bot lane leashed and they came late to lane, that Graves did start on his blue side.
Yeah, and Exotica is just on point this queue so far. He's landed both of them on Lucian, and in level 1 itself, like a pretty recent trade, Lucian will have Ezreal Braum will have the priority. They get level 2, mind you. The Q does land. Again, will we see a solo kill here? Yes, we will. No usage of the flash. The stun was on point, and Krix just leaps the reward of that player.
There's a brilliant kill coming out from DF. 14k, I don't think Night Ray expected that at all, but it was really clean. And we know that Ezreal's Q does act as a basic attack, so it stacks that Braum passive really fast.
And just before we go any further, what time are you guys at?
254, 255, 56.
Okay, alright.
Not to worry, we'll all get into sync. And I want to point out that Bishi pronounced 14k Renekton's name as Zozo.
Yeah.
I find that really funny. I was like, do I call him EXO or just Renekton?
That's one of the leading questions I had as well because I've actually watched the guy's game. Apparently his teammates call him Zozo, everyone calls him Zozo, even though he's XOXO. And I'm like, you know what, Zozo sounds cooler than XOXO. So I was like, let's just call him Zozo. But an XOXO or Zozo doing pretty well in the early game, and this could be Forest being in trouble. As look at Luki, who's here. He has to run away. He has to flash away.
Renekton dashes over the wall, really good.
Oh, but that's actually not that great because Zozo could be in trouble. A beautiful usage of the flash.
Here comes Graves.
Okay. Forest gets out of that really safe, and Graves seems to be playing extremely aggressive, and that's good. You know, in the early game, it's all about, you know, the pathing, whether the jungler can get the upper hand, the priority to do dragon. It's important, and Graves manages to get the top scuttle, and it's very likely that he's going to move down to the bottom side and secure that delicious amount of EXP. Wow, that's like a jungler's dream.
Yeah, we saw the last game as well, you know, Graves got both the scuttles, and in this game, he got both the scuttles. So, very good start for him in the early game. Will side Kane behind just a little bit, but at least he's not dead. So, I think that's some points given to him for that.
Yeah, and he didn't, he had to burn his flash, obviously, because he was very, very low. But, however, just not giving a kill and not giving a free camp.
Happening in the mid lane. Braum
happening
will be
in
there.
the bot lane right now, and Tribrush right now. Red team does not have vision on it right now. Grixis being able to do a lot of damage. Braum being very low. 14k Rip is going to pick up the kill. It's going to be support for a support trade. Can they get any more? Red team is chasing down Termi right now. He is getting some good damage back. He has a large minion wave.
Oh my lord, double teleport!
Right
double
we didn't
teleport.
see that. 5 breaks a hole. Termi flashes. He's trying to get safe. And the skirmish keeps happening. Graves putting in damage on the side. Termi might die, and 14k RTO picks that up, but will go down to Van Gogh, and Graves runs for his life. So that was a 2 for 2?
3 for 2.
No, Zozo, I think it was a 2 for 2. With how early Braum died, they kind of like were able to get back on that kill. Because the first kill already went with Ezreal getting it. So, double teleport right there. Termi, I kill Van Gogh instantly on that jump. They're able to get the kill on RTO, but RTO gets a kill for himself as well. And all the kills on 14k on DF side is on the Ornn, which honestly isn't the best person to get it. If they gotten those kills on the Kane or the Syndra, they would be in a pretty good spot. But man, that's a lot of TPs right there. And we did see a lot of exciting fights coming from the bot lane. Who comes out ahead in this, guys, Loki? Who do you think comes out ahead in this fight?
I think blue team comes out ahead. They have the shutdown on the Ornn, and they also have a kill on the Ezreal, whereas only Diana gets a kill. And the other kill that they did get went on Thresh. So not the best usage of kills and gold on these champions and stuff. However, I think Termi gets screwed over by that fight. I mean, he's probably going to lose a lot of pressure onto Diana right now. And they're actually looking to make a play bot lane. It kind of looks like that. They've got their jungler kind of crawling around. You know, they've Thresh just being able to place a deep ward right now. They're looking for a play onto Diana, onto Syndra, sorry, is what I feel. Can Diana push up the wave, and can they set this up? Can they execute it correctly?
This is going to be difficult for him. Syndra has no stun, no flash, nothing at this point, but it seems like the trade will be destroyed. And Apollonia, what do you think of that series of events in the bot lane? Because it does look like Diana got a kill for himself, but DF were able to get the Ocean Drake for themselves, the Cloud Drake for themselves.
Well, Van Gogh managed to pick up 2, and he straight away bought that Ninja Tabbies, which is so good against 14k. And Ornn is just going to have a good time farming. He's also ahead in CS. It's going to be hard for Renekton to get that lead with that much defense, you know?
Yeah, if this was RTO playing Loki, I think the game would have been different, right? If he was playing Renekton later.
And also the Dragon, the first Cloud Drake goes over to DF. That's good because it's one less Dragon that they have to take for the soul. and how they managed to turn that fight in the bottom lane into an advantage with their objective, it's gonna pay off for them. Tommy may lose, his flash and doesn't have TP. He's against an Ignite Diana, but he's good. He as long as he plays safe and Graves doesn't have CC, neither does Diana. Tommy will be fine. And look, bot lane has
the
No,
bot
there's a
lane.
2v2 happening over in bot lane. Kane's right on the side. Stun's gonna go on to Lucian right now. Stasis is gonna come out from Braum. Israel's taking a lot of damage right now. Is he gonna go down? No, flashes away. Dashes forward and takes the kill. I think this is gonna be a 2v3 right now. Redemption coming out for Lucian. Ooh, Thresh just gets the kill on Braum again, but it's gonna be traded in return. Force picking up the kill on Lucian right now. What a series of events.
Man, Nitre with the Chad flash onto the Ezreal to get that kill, makes a 1-for-0, 1-for-1 at the end of the day, and he picks up the kill for himself. Yeah, he does lose a wave here and there, but the fact that he played that into a disadvantageous sort of situation does salvage some bits and pieces. But still, RV do find themselves with one kill in that, and Nitre does lose a lot of the CS as well. So, and King gets a kill, which is very important. Meanwhile, in the mid lane though, you can finally see Termi picking up his trading pattern at this point, and I like that in this game, guys. You're seeing a lot of kills happen. But before I do that, Loki, it looks like the Herald might be used top, or it might not be, depending, because like the Rip is also coming in for a roam right here.
Yeah, it was a very good cross-map play coming up from Red Team over there. I mean, they fought the 2v3. They kind of traded. Ooh, hook going on to Ornn right now. It looks like he's going to get locked up. Here comes the dash by Renekton, but Ornn is just going to fly away into the sunset in protection of his turret. Very fun champ, by the way.
That sounded magical and poetic at the same time.
Always gotta switch it up, man. You can't have standard casting every single game.
All right, buddy. So listen, guys. Graves got the Rift Herald, and that's gonna be great. What is his quest? Where is he gonna put that down? Is it the
As he
boss that
storms
wants?
through his jungle, picking up his red buff, moving on to his raptor camps, he looks for vision. Meanwhile, there is a fight happening in top lane, and Renekton just flashes away.
It's like a story. Loki's telling me a bedtime story. Here, guys, there was a fight between two great top laners. One blue flash, and the second moment, the other blue flash. And they all went back to the base, and nothing happened.
Absolutely brilliant. But Renekton managed to survive that gank, and it's good because on popped his ulti, doesn't have it, and Renekton can just have a good time farming when he gets back to lane.
I have to say the Ornn has just been nasty items at this point. The Bramble into the Tava is just like a nightmare for the Renekton. At this point, even like until he finishes his Blade of the Ruined King, there's nothing much that he can do. And I can't wait, guys, because the next teleport is up in like less than a minute, which means that we're gonna see another fight happen. The next dragon is spawning. It is going to be a mountain dig at this point. So I can't wait to see what happens, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna see another fight happening very, very soon.
Yeah,
Do you think 14K is gonna contest this Drake? I mean, they're on it right now. They've secured vision around it. Graves is just camping in that corner right now. They look like they don't really want to give this dragon. They've given one too many.
I mean, 100%. If 14K, they started out a bit shaky, but you can see that they do have plans. And both teams, it's neck and neck. With the slight gold advantage DF has, it's still very even. Everybody is gathering. Even On has come down. Renekton does have TP. I think it's just about coming. Yeah, it is up. Renekton has TP. He can come down.
Out for the On though, yeah.
What for the Ornn? A little bit of damage is gonna go down. DF is on both sides. The Braum is just gonna go straight in. He's gonna get taken down right now instantly. Oh, here comes the Diana. Well, he goes on to Kane right now. Kane's gonna ulti out and he's gonna drop as well. That kill goes on to Renekton right now. Meanwhile, Renekton is gonna take a lot of damage and go down. Flash out coming out from Thresh right now. He's gonna catch Syndra Syndra taking a lot of damage, is eventually gonna fall to the wrath of Red Team.
Wow, that was a 3-for-1. I think DF did not expect that, but Exotica, I think he made the mistake of engaging when the Mountain Drake was hit. He took in all of that dragon damage, and 14K just collapsed on them. It was not a good fight to pick, but that is the Mountain Drake which will go over to 14k.
Yeah, and suddenly things spiral out of control. It's not out, but like the advantage massively goes over, and this is what DF as a team have been facing even when they were RV. There's a lot of like desynced sort of engages happening. Brom on one side like, hey, I have ult, I can get a 4-man ult, but on the other side, there is no on. They're trying to pincer without an on ultimate, and instantly the RTU just goes in on the carries and kills them. And this could have been their fight to win absolutely. When you have Syndra stun on stun, there's no way in the world you're supposed to lose these fights, but just not being on sync on the same page, that's what cost him the team fight. And now not
And that's
only
what made Brom rage quit.
he's not incorrect back.
I just saw the Zona is disconnected, and I'm like, all right, I guess he rage quit, guys.
Like it's just such a bad trade for them because they lose like around a 1.5k the goal swing just happened at this point, and they lose a Drake to boot, right? So suddenly
Not to also mention, before taking the Drake, Graves was popped the Rift Herald down bot and got a couple of platings on the bot turret. So, you're just like so much gold, so many objectives, and Essence Reaver build coming out from Lucian. What do you think about that, guys?
Oh, I like it. It gives crit, and it helps with the mana because, okay, if you look at the whole team composition, a lot of the times when it comes to the wave clear, Lucian is going to be an important part of that wave clear as well, and that just allows him to farm so much faster, so quick, and remain healthy with his mana. It is good, and I think the second item that Lucian might buy is an IE, and that's when he just becomes difficult to deal with. It's going to be very hard to deal with a Lucian with those two items. So I think it's on the way to a good build. I also like to point out that Diana has gone for Rod of Ages, which you don't see very often. But looking at the overall tankiness of 14k, it's understandable. Because DF has On and Brom, and they're really, really tanky and really thick. So the little bit of tankiness for Diana, I think that might help alongside Thresh and Renekton.
Course. And Bishi, what do you think about that entire play of DF? Of 14k. Sorry, I mean, you saw the first dragon going over to blue team. They were in position. They just got the chunk onto Lucian. They just got the kill onto Lucian, and they were able to secure that so well. And the next dragon, 14k, they stood up. They were like, we're not gonna give it. They stood there. They entered the dragon pit. They entered the dragon pit. They took vision. And how do you think that play was just? What are your thoughts on the play?
I mean, misexecution, like horrible execution of that, I would say, because like they had the plan, right? They had the plan was Braum ulti followed by an on ulti followed by a QE Syndra stun followed by an Ezreal ult. Like they had the wombo in their heads, but they just failed miserably at doing that. I mean, they did not time the fact that On did not have his ulti. Like not sure why Braum just went forward. I honestly feel like that was a soft end from the Braum. And if they want to like win this game, they can't do that anymore because they've given away a 2k gold swing and the dragon. But if another team fight like that happens, they are pretty much going to lose a lot of pressure. And you can count on VP148 to take that pressure and start taking down the towers. Because if the Diana gets fed, which she already is on her way, she boiled a lot of ages in the current meta, but still, if she gets enough items, the Grace also being 204 at this point, it'll take a while for your On and your center to scale up, and you could already have VP14k just looking to take more skirmishes and team fights and get the Baron. And like they have to be like DF have to be very careful at this point. They cannot give away any more leads. Like they have the better team fighting, but if they allow themselves to be snowballed, you've seen in Kyoto in the last game, right? If you allow a team to snowball you out of control, then there's nothing you can do. So it's really on them to be able to make sure. And if I were VP14k, I'd just continue this pressure. The Dragon Call was good. They were there as 5. They capitalized on someone's mistakes, and they need to continue to keep doing that if they want to win this game.
Yeah, and right now there's shutdown goal on Grace and Diana's head, 150G. Now, that will most definitely put DF back in the game if they do take that shutdown goal, and it's just going to even out everything. Also, the first tower has not been taken, but both teams have a dragon each, and it's looking very even. I mean, the goal difference is less than 1k, so it's hard to tell at this point. But we don't often see a Thresh pick, and 14k rep picks that Thresh, and I like it. I know the last game, Micro Ice also did pick that. It's been a long time since I've seen it. There's been a lot of Broms and Blitzcranks. And
Yeah, Thresh is like one champion I feel will always be viable in the support lane, and he can provide not just engage but also disengage. And his ulti is a really great tool to scoop and zone people down. And Microice himself is like a freaking good Thresh player, and I really like the Thresh pickup here because it allows the carries to somehow survive. But having said that, it's I feel like the Braum will provide more utility in the team fights. I feel like Braum's passive, Braum's ultimate will be
I
extremely,
mean, if
extremely
he
helpful.
ults like that in the next team fight, I don't think he's gonna be providing much, but just
Yeah,
some good gold for the enemy team, right?
true, true. And you're waiting for the Kane to also scale. I don't think the Kane has gotten his form yet, or correct me if he has. I don't think he has yet.
No, he hasn't.
So he is really like this is the time where you sort of expect the Kane to get your form, maybe before 15 minutes, ideally, if you can. And the fact that he hasn't gotten it, he should definitely go for Redkin because they need another frontline. And Ezreal himself, he is scaling up to do damage. Syndra is finding herself to be a little bit behind, not completed her Ludens yet, already completed right time and completed boots on the Diana. So again, like they are a little bit behind in terms of item spikes, and for them to they just need to keep the game going a little bit more, keep farming, get more plates, and hopefully when the time is right, like use their amazing ultimates. Like they have some insane ultimates this game. They need to use them to be able to win out these team fights. Because on the other side, VP 14K are not that tanky, right? A right ultimate on the Lucian or the Graves, there's potential that the person will actually die. And when you have a frontline like on just tanking everything, then you can just play front to back in the whole game and look to make these plays happen. And I think we finally are seeing a resume happen. So hopefully, guys, you don't have to wait much time before we see how this game pans out, Apollo. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you said, the team compositions, they're both kind of different. And DF is definitely more team fighting oriented. Like they have to stick together and pull off the kills. Tell me on the Syndra, Quixus on the Ezreal, they're relatively squishy. So they got to make sure that they have good team fights and try to push their lead together as a team. And we see that 14K right now, they're pulling off a lot of good skirmishes. And with their picks, they do have a better advantage when it comes to 2v2 fights.
We might be having a gank upstairs. Oh, here comes the Thresh. Here comes the Graves.
Oh
nope.
my
Ornn is
lord!
just gonna...
Yeah, that W on the stun was poggers by Kilvango, and I have seen the same play again. He tries to ward, gets caught out, ease away. This time doesn't have to blow his flash, mind you. And I don't know why they're trying to gank Anon. It doesn't make any sense. Just go and try to gank other lanes as well. And look at this; they are relentless in their approach. They still Rip is still roaming at this point, and the problem here right now, guys, is Lucian is falling behind because now he cannot do much. And Diana was trying to roam bot, but will go back mid. And again, this just makes Lucian's life a little bit harder because when these gangs don't work out, he's the one who is not at his not able to farm properly and is at the back of his field.
Absolutely. And Thresh going up for that roam, he's 2-1-6. He has significantly more gold, especially picking up that Glacial and Kindle Gem, Glacial Shroud and Kindle Gem. His cooldowns are now active. He is going to be hard to deal with, and Braum has to find a way to make sure that Thresh does not push his lead too much and cause, more deaths around the map.
Yeah, and I feel like the game has passively slowed down. There is no neutral objective to be taken at this point. The next dragon is 2 minutes away. The Herald is still up, mind you, but it doesn't look like any team is going to go for it. And again, guys, we might see the next team fight happen again at Dragon because this is what both teams have their eye on. It is that Dragon. And in this point, I don't think Syndra and Termi's flashes will be up. And if they are, then good enough. But this time, DF cannot make the same mistake they did last time. They just have to play it smarter. Meanwhile, the mid lane, though, you can see a small trade come out, but okay, Diana's ultimate is just going to be so poggers if she's able to land on the right people. So they have to be very, very careful about that as well.
And we've got a small buddy system happening in top lane. Renekton able to... Ooh, he takes the plant. Really good play coming down from him. They're trying to secure this Rift Herald. As you said, the only neutral objective on this map right now is the Rift Herald. And red team, blue team doesn't even want it. They're not even contesting for it. Or wow, they're going to make a play for it.
Yeah, 4-man bot, boys.
Here comes the Ornn ulti, it's gonna go out. Lucian and Thresh, see you later, boys. There's no way. Can you return a 1-for-1? No, Crixus still has heal. Heal baits him out. And here comes Thresh. The 2-1-6 is now gonna be 2-2-6. Both kills going on Ezreal.
That's really important right there. Apollonia, what are your thoughts on that team fight?
Wow, the way Van Gogh tanked the tower, it was just brilliant. He called in the ram. It's a ram, right? Or gold, something. He called in the ram, and it was history for 14k. Lucian did try to get a kill at least, but he didn't manage to. Great gameplay coming out from DF and picking up that Rift Herald on the side of. Where did the Rift Herald go? Oh, it got spawned.
Mid.
They use
It's
a
already
vent
made,
and
yeah,
they
so the-
actually, yeah, they got the. Oh, look at this! He is on a ward.
Oh no. Oh wait, no, he just flashes out.
Yeah, he's fine. But this does mean that if DF want, they can have prio. But I don't understand why Forest has not backed at this point. He might get hooked here. Oh, has to.
Oh my gosh,
barely
these
survive.
plays are so close and so crispy. It's like my heart stopped for a moment with Grace and then the Kane.
Yeah, Ezreal is at a very strong power spec. He has his 2 items already. This is the point where they should look to fight again, but without an on-ult, probably not the right idea. And there is a teleport advantage as well. But if I was DF, I would fight for this, guys. Come on, you guys are strong. You have the better team fighting. Just wait for the on-ult this time and do it. And I think this is what happening. I kill Van Gogh is making his way top again. This time again, his ulti is not a mind you, but I think Exotica knows not to use ulti sooner. And with how fed Ezreal is, that's a nice stun on the Diana. Will Howell lantern out. Not before they can get the pink ward as well.
They're gonna go for the pink ward using the lantern extremely strategically. Ornn, however, did walk over. Zozo does have teleport on the other hand.
They
He
need
is
to
gonna
force.
try to.
Yeah, they need to force it right away. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'll
they
just
need
take
to.
towers.
Yeah, I know. They need to either force it, but they're not in a very good position to force. They don't even have vision coverage on the dragon side. And oh, they're finally walking together and they're gonna finally get some vision down. Meanwhile, the top turret is just gonna go. DF is in a very bad situation. They're gonna start the dragon right now. Is 14k gonna give it? They shouldn't give it, in my opinion. They should go for it. Oh, Lucian is frontlining. This is
Teleport's
not good.
out.
Here comes a teleport. Dragons at 2 HP. Blue team will secure it. Braum is gonna be the first target now. How fast is he gonna die? He's still not gonna die. Shutdown goes on to Diana. Syndra's gonna pick up that one. Here comes a Renekton stun on the Ezreal right now. Here comes a knockup flash on Ezreal right now to get into safe range. Nightbray is gonna take the kill onto I kill Van Gogh right now, and it's gonna be a 2-for-1.
Yeah,
Lovely.
it is a 2-for-1. The DF did manage to secure that Infernal Drake. It is an Infernal Arena, but 14k punished them for that. And 14k also managed to get a top tower and a bottom tower. So that is 3 that they have taken all together. Overall, 14k has the gold lead as well as the map pressure. They have more towers. So I think it was a good trade because it's still early. They can fight for the upcoming, for the next few dragons that will come. And Baron is also spawning in 1 more minute. Will we see a 20-minute Baron setup like the last 2 games, or nah? Probably not.
I
point,
don't
not-
think either of these teams want to really go for it. I think they just stick to fighting for smaller objectives on the map.
Yeah, and like that fight, yeah, you know, they got the dragon, they got the shutdown on the Diana, but that was still like VP 14k coming out ahead for sure. They got 2 towers, they were able to get the 2 kills as well. And the Diana is just like looking to finish her Morello as well, which at this point makes her very difficult to deal with. And for how tanky like Renekton was at last team fight, like Ezreal had to flash out of the the dragon pit just to make sure he doesn't die right there. So I feel the QSS is important, but I feel as if, you know, they really need Kane to be the one to frontline a lot of these damages and to be able to kill off the carries, because I feel like with VP14k they have not just 1 but 3 or 4 different carries. Like all of them are champions that can deal significant amounts of damage. So killing one doesn't automatically mean they win the team fight. They have to make sure that they just keep front to backing and that their 2 main carries, aka the Ezreal and the Syndra, don't die in the process.
Yeah, and you see, you know, both teams are fighting for vision. There has been a lot of vision wards being bought, very aggressively placed, and it is coming now into it's already mid game, slowly progressing into the late game, and 14k has 2 towers over DF, so DF has to look for fights that will help them get an objective at the same time. So they got to pick this out carefully because they are very ultimate reliant, the champions that they have.
Yeah, Ornn needs some MR ASAP, because if he's caught between a Diana ultimate. He's going to get poked out. Meanwhile, though, this is a stun onto the Graves. The Graves will just get one combo. This is the fight that they were finally looking for, with the Lucian also being in trouble. The stun does land, but onto the Thresh, and they both have to flash out. So not only did they get one kill, but all the bot lane summoners are down except the Ignite. So that's a really good trade for DF right there.
Yeah, they can time the summoners. They've got Thresh and Lucian's flashes, so it's gonna be good. That means the next fight, once the ultis are all up, they can do something. On also has his ult, but they gotta find a way to break into the mid, break into the top as well. But overall, you know, both teams, not much of a difference. 9 to 10, 1k gold difference. There's only a map control difference right now, so it's still anybody's game at this point. And Renekton seems to be farming really well, and so are Termi and Crixus as well.
Yeah, they are. Renekton gonna go for the aggressive trade right now. No objective on the map whatsoever, so bot lanes will go top and just try to farm the wave. The blue team should be looking to take this top lane turret. However, I don't think. I mean, Forest is taking a very aggressive position right here. He is gonna be spotted out by a pink ward over in the Tribrush right now.
Okay, look, I have to ask you, do you feel that a lot of respect has been given to this Kayn, because the Diana built Morello and the Graves has built an execution squad? Do you really feel like both of those items are required for Diana, who, you know, does really well with other items? I almost can't help but feel that the Morello was probably not required for.
Yeah, I don't think the Morello was required. I think they're respecting this Kayn a little bit too much here. He has been, he has been farming really well and stuff, but I think, I think there's just they're kind of like over itemizing for just the Kayn when they should be trying to prioritize other items to deal with other champions.
Maybe they have a fear in their soul against Forest. So, but Ezreal, you know, knowing his builds, he will build a Bog, or maybe in this case a Quicksilver. So there is healing on the side of Ezreal, as well as Kayn with the red form. So I think the Executioners is fine. They're fine. On the 80s, but the Morellos, maybe Diana has a different plan. You know, she wants to peel. She is going for a much tankier build, especially with the ROA. So RTO is playing Diana in a completely different way, and we'll see, you know, if it pays off. So far, it has. And also, you know, the next dragon is coming up. It is in 45 seconds, and we'll expect to see another team fight break out.
To be honest, I don't really agree with the red team's lane prioritization here. I think they should send the TP laners to the side lanes and just let bot lane stay mid. Whereas they're kind of letting Thresh and Lucian just hover around the top side when they should be mid lane, in my opinion. It's an open lane as well.
You guys know what time it is?
It is 22:40.
No, it's time 41. For another dragon fight, guys.
It's dragon time.
It's dragon time.
Yeah, that's the every 5 minutes we live to watch this team play, and someone will die, someone will win. Last time it was
who's gonna get caught first? I give 10 pounds on Braum to get caught first.
I think Diana might ult in and die. Let's see. So that's what happened last team fight. But you know what, guys? It's gonna be DF who now have the priority. So they now have the vision. Mid is being pushed as well. Thresh giving a lantern to Braum. Braum's like, no, Braum, the opposite side. Not the one you need to give it these two, and they have started right here. So let's see, Loki, pick the team fight up for me, man. Cast it for me.
Okay, so we've got DF starting the dragon right now. Here comes Lucian with the culling. All ulti is gonna go down. Blue team is gonna secure the dragon, but at what cost? Ooh, blue team doesn't look like they're in a good position right here. Syndra's trying to flank around, only gets one person, however. And my client crashed.
And how well that stun landed. Termi boggers right here. Not only are they able to get the dragon, but they get a complete ace, and DF finally get that team fight they wanted. They were able to get the dragon. Crixus went out, jumped in again when he saw the right opportunity. Beautiful stun by Termi. Ults one person, uses the orbs on the ground to ult everyone else, and this could potentially be barren for them if they want to act quick on their feet, but they are looking to get the mid lane tower, and maybe post that they will look to get the Baron as well. But I don't know if they're gonna go for it yet.
Exactly. This was the fight that DF needed. They had a good fight and took two objectives, the mid tower and the dragon, and altogether they have 3. You know, when you have the same type of dragon, like 2 of them, so in this case 2 Infernos for DF, that's when the buff actually starts to hurt. You can feel that buff. And with the infernal buff on Syndra, that is going to hurt, especially with their Ludens and also their Morelos or Rabadons. You know, Hermes is kind of thinking which one should I buy, but he's going to do tons of damage and he could basically pop Lucian or Graves if she wanted to.
Yeah, and I feel like the option there to just do a mid lane tower, not take anything else, not even the inner mid lane or attempt for something does surprise me quite a bit here. But you know what? They got a good win. They just want to go back and get items. And this is the point where I feel, they need to go back. I feel they haven't. Okay, they have backed, but they haven't hit the third item spikes yet. Morella completed for the Syndra, however, and on her it still sort of makes sense because you have a Conqueror, Diana, and a Conqueror, and Nectin trying to cause a lot of damage here. And Ornn will start hitting his level 14 power spikes, and this means that his teammates will start benefiting from that very, very soon. So this is the point where Ornn's utility becomes way, way more useful.
Finally reconnected, and I'm actually surprised none of the teams have actually gone for the Baron.
Yeah,
They
and
decided not to. And Diana could be in trouble, look.
Diana looks like he's got caught out here. Nope, Ezreal's just gonna back away, and they're gonna let him live for today.
That's lucky of her.
I feel it's a really close game, you know? Like, the goal difference is still not a lot, and we've reached 25 minutes. In the last few games, we saw huge goal differences. So, it could pretty much be anyone's game, but it looks like 14K does have... Oh! That's Zozo fighting Van Gogh, but does literally not that much damage.
I would just fight if I was the on right. I'm like, you know what, bro, I have a Bramble, come at me. I know you have Blade of the Ruin King, but you don't have finish. You don't have a Black Cleaver finish, which means you really can't shred my armor that much. And with the Bramble, with the Sunfire, with upgraded Sunfire, right? Like, I would happily take these trades if I was the on, but I guess, Van Gogh doesn't want to do something crazy. He just wants to push out the wave. They have teleports again, and Baron is extremely well warded by VP 14K. Not that I think DF wants to do it, but again, guys, you know what? Just chill for the next 2 minutes. The next dragon will be up, and then we'll cast again. Because I don't think anything's happening before that.
That's true. I think in the meanwhile, we'll just talk about CS numbers, itemization, I don't know, count the pink wards on the map, I guess.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's go. But yeah, okay, let's talk about CS numbers right here. I would say both Termi and Fury have been doing really well as compared to the other counterparts. They are respectively 30 and 30 CS, actually 30 sets of piece each. So that's good. And top is in behind as well. 25
Very
CS
good.
in a Renekton into one matchup,
You sounded like a mathematician, Bishi.
Yeah, 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Quick maths. And I think finally, guys, they're looking to get the top lane tower, which is literally free at this point, and I think Syndra's going to be one to reap the benefits of that. I think once Syndra gets her, I don't know what she's building with the large rod, I'm assuming it's a Rabadon. If she gets that, then she's going to be crazy. Termi decided, okay, he did decide to give it, but he doesn't have the gold for it, I'm not sure. But now in the bot lane, a skirmish is happening, guys. Loki, this tank me. Oh man.
Yeah, this guy doesn't really care. There's no skirmish. It's like, oh, you tickle me, I tickle you back. They're having a tickling game down at bot.
Isn't that every top laner's experience ever?
Yeah, I mean, Bishi, you should know, right?
For as much as I love to take tanks, I still freaking take that fight. But I think right now it's not a good idea because Dragon is up in 30 seconds, which means RTO.
This time 14K is at Dragon right
Guys,
now.
I'd just like to-
securing vision.
I like to point out something that confuses me. Like, Lucian brought in an Essence Reaver followed with
Some big plays happening over here.
This is what mid laners need to do when a Thresh queues you, right? Or ADC need to do. Maybe last game people who were not.
Oh, we have a
actually
fight
getting
coming out here.
that-
Omanoti is gonna go down. He actually gets caught by 3 people. Diana's gonna drop like a fly right now. Kane is a free and wanted man also onto Lucian right now. He's probably gonna sacrifice his life for it. Actually does. It's just 2 AD carries left alive. Here comes the 2-shot barrage. It's gonna actually chunk Lucian right now. Is he going to die though? No, they're chasing him down. Doesn't quite actually die right now.
Wanted that kill so bad, but guys, the utility of Braum in these sort of skirmishes cannot be mentioned enough. The amount of stuns that he's able to get off through his passive has allowed them to do much, and Diana for the 3rd time in a row is finding herself in a situation where she jumps in, Ezreal is out, kills her pretty much outside the ult, and then comes back in and starts winning these fights. And
Well,
now it
Diana-
looks like DF is in a great spot.
Diana did manage to stop On from using his ulti to knock up, but the way she played was like as though Diana was a tank. And that's not gonna happen because she went in, couldn't use her stopwatch unfortunately, and just died, making it basically like a 5v4 because not a lot of damage was put in. So I think 14K has to rethink their strategy. Lucian, however, did survive, kind of confused with his build still, but he's onto something. And Nightway is showing that, you know, he has a little bit of a flair for those Lucian mechanics, and he could be a key part to trying to get 14k back in this. But the Infernal Soul is to Deimos Force right now, and DF just looks absolutely painful. That Syndra, the Ezreal with the upgraded items, ouch.
Oh, they're starting the Baron. These
Yeah,
guys
I was
just
just
don't
gonna
give a
say,
shit. They're
they
just
need
gonna
to
start
force.
the Baron.
They win team fight so hard at this point you wouldn't not want to force. And I don't think RTO doesn't even knows this is happening. So let's see what pans out from this Baron. But knowing how fast they're doing it is really on Amakiti to make the play. The Amakiti is not there. The 4-man Diana ult, but not going to be enough. Diana will die to the
He's
chain
gonna die.
here.
Shutdown's gonna go on to Syndra right now. Here comes the TP Renekton right now. Is he gonna get anything? Nope, he's gonna walk into 3 people. He's probably gonna die. Actually gets a stun onto Braum. Takes on Braum right now, but the rest of the team is peeling Renekton off. Oh, good knockup coming out from Kane. He's gonna ulti onto Lucian. I don't think Lucian is gonna survive from that. Goes into the stasis right now, and my client just bugged out.
Yeah, Fury playing that whole team fight like a boss right there. On as well, Forest as well, making sure he's sticking on to the right people. They get the Baron, they lose to people Loki, but still it is Baron and Soul Point for DF right here. And this is going to be them looking to get the tower. Instant teleport by the Honor top. And he's like, you know what, guys, I don't need teleport anymore. I'm just going to use it. Let's get some couple of towers. Unfortunately, you know, Termi did die. Amagadiva did what he could to try to kill off that mage. But everyone else on DF is alive and well, and they are looking to close up this game.
And what's actually really interesting is the Ornn decided to upgrade the Luden's Echo as opposed to the Death Cap.
Yeah, she just.
Oh, On
Death Cap
can't
right
choose
now.
though.
Oh,
When
one
he was
can't choose?
upgrading it, he only had the Ludens. So,
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's a little bit tricky, you know. I don't think he can choose, but it's probably the least expensive item.
No,
If
no,
you do
it's,
have,
it's the item that you keep on the first slot. So if Termi kept
Oh.
Abaddon's on your first slot, it upgrades that. But when he was upgrading it, he only had Ludens. He didn't have.
right?
Ah,
But I think
okay.
it's still a good boost though, and you can really see
Yeah,
that
for sure.
damage coming out. And next, Kane is gonna get that black cleaver into an obsidian cleaver. I remember that name. And he's just gonna with the Dev's Dance as well. Kane is an absolute monster.
Yeah, he's not dying
It's not
anymore.
looking very bright for 14k, but if they could wait out till the Elder Dragon, there's still that option, you know, try to pick that up and hopefully focus a target at a time, have more coordinated fights, and they can try to pull themselves back in. But there is a huge goal difference though. 5k.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, Fury has played this team fights really well. I feel like Exotica, barring the first mistake that he had, has played a really good Braum in this game. And, you know, giving props to RTO, he is landing some good ultimates, but unfortunately, he's going solo and he dies, and he's not able to one-shot any one of these people. And at this point, DF's comp is just outscaling.
That's true. I mean, I don't think. I mean, with 5 straight up 5v5 with this comp. Ooh, now Thresh looks like he's gonna get caught right now. Arcane Shift's gonna go down. Force is gonna pick up that kill. Meanwhile, RTO and Nightbreak can't really do anything with this huge minion wave crashing towards them. Good stun coming out from Syndra right now. He's gonna ulti. It's gonna almost kill him. Not quite though. And they're just gonna start sieging this turret right now. Ezreal doing a lot of damage. Here comes Ornn for flank. He ults, gets about 3 people with his ulti right now. And 14k, they just can't really do anything here. Lucian has to go base right now. And we get a pause. Or was
Oh
that
my
behind?
gosh, that Baron buff. DF used it to the max. On pushed in mid, and all of the rest of DF pushes bottom and takes out that Thresh. It's just really good map play right now coming out from DF, and we will resume. You know, using that Baron buff for 2 lanes, the mid inhibitor does go down, and now there's a skirmish on bot lane.
Right now, Diana trying to do whatever she can, but she cannot do enough right now. TP's gonna come out from Syndra right now, and I think it's gonna be game, boys. DF has beaten 14k. I think it's safe to say that right now. Well played.
Yeah, and I have to give props to Fury as well for trying to surviving so well and playing the team fight out immaculately. And also like to the composition as well. You know, they will be the ones to enter into the semi-finals where they have a much bigger task ahead of them. They have to go defeat Exodances. But before they do that, they will ace completely 14k and they will win this matchup, guys. What do you think of the whole matchup?
Wow, GG, well played. I felt that DF they were losing in the early game, but that's usually expected of team comps that are very team fight oriented. But the moment they got their items, they stuck together and they showed the real power and synergy that they had as a team.
True, true. And they will walk away with the prize. They will get into the semifinals. And this is it, guys. You have your four teams for the TEC South Asia Championship League powered by LG UltraGear. It's gonna be Cuties. It's gonna be NAD. No, sorry. It's gonna be Elixir. It's gonna be
Big
NAD5. It's gonna
mistake on
be
that.
DF and DF Rio. No, DF and Exilance. Whoa, what's wrong with the brain today? Exilances and DF are gonna make it out. And guys, before we end the stream today, just give me a few thoughts on the semi-final matchups. I'm gonna start with the first one. It's gonna be Elixir versus NAD5. What do you guys think of that match? I start with you,
Oh,
Apollonia first. Yeah.
Elixir versus NAD5. Well, okay, I saw NA play very closely for the first time today, and they pulled out very clean macro rotations, and their team fights were really nice. Now they're gonna be against Elixir, who they are friends and they have played together for a long time as well. It's gonna be. I'm looking forward to that match a lot, if not the most.
All right.
And I
Look.
don't know who's going to win at all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because they're both convincingly good.
Loki, what
But
about you? Like, what do you think?
I don't like Elixir. They have Kaka. I want them to lose. Lunk Alliance is gonna destroy them 3-0.
All right,
Let's
all right.
go.
Let's come to the second matchup. It's gonna be the ones that you saw right now, Deimos Force versus
Uh,
Exulance's Esports. Apparently, what? I'm gonna start with Apollonia. You first. What do you think of that matchup?
I know Excellences to be a really strong team. They have won champion for another tournament, if I'm not wrong. And I think Excellences might come out on top. But if DF continues to pull off like these good team fights that we saw today, then I think Excellences has to be careful. But I'm not sure who's gonna win.
Come on, I didn't ask you guys to give me safe answers, guys. I need the
Okay,
game.
I am rooting for DF because they have a special place in my heart.
Oh, all right, Loki, back to you.
But I'm
Okay.
gonna stay neutral because I'm a neutral person.
All right, Loki. I don't think you care about being neutral. What are your thoughts? Lay on me.
can we get a viewer discretion advice or something like
Yeah,
that?
so the following statements are not to be taken as statements from the organizers or thereof. This is personally this person's opinion, and if you have any issues, talk to this person about it. All right, go for it.
Excellence Gaming is gonna absolutely destroy DF. Holy shit, their team is so bad. Forrest has been juggling for 33 years and he hasn't won anything.
All
Excellence
right.
Gaming is a bunch of upcoming young talent and they're gonna smash
Yeah,
these
upcoming young
guys.
talent names Cranko. Well done. I think that was it
Franco's
for the
always gonna be a 10-year-old kid in my eyes, Bishi. I don't know what you're talking about.
upcoming talent in our boys, Crow, Cranko, and everything else. But that's it for the stream, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Next week is when the semifinals will happen. Both the semifinals will be played on Saturday, and then the finals will be played on Sunday. So make sure you guys tune into the YouTube channel and the Facebook channel because that's where the match is going to be streamed. Until then, it's going to be your see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye bye.
शर्म कर लो बोस शर्म कर लो भोसड़ी वालों स्ट्रीम पे हो बिलो द बेल्ट सब इतना मारते हैं भाई
forces aimed at the Earth. And injustice. Let the glorious battle begin. Geared up for victory. LG UltraGear Gaming Monitor. Numerous forces aimed at the Earth.